Hey everyone, Joey here, and today we're going to take a look at the new XREAL One Pros and how they stack up against the original XREAL Ones before them, because these were my favorite XR glasses, and I think these take over now. Now, disclaimer right up front, I have the XREAL Ones. They have a hardware problem that I have not seen a single other user have, so truly it was just a luck of the draw issue. I reached out for warranty, and XREAL was like, hey, how about we just upgrade you to the XREAL One Pros? So here we are. Today, I'm in a nice position to have both of them available, and I can give you my feedback as somebody who has been using the XREAL Ones and how the XREAL One Pros compare. So let's just dive right in and waste no time. The XREAL Ones launched back in December at a cost of $499 US. Now, I reviewed them back then, and after having used so many XR glasses over the years, I found the XREAL Ones to be my favorite pair. You should go check out that review if you want to see what I said about the XREAL Ones, because a lot of that applies to today for the XREAL One Pros as well. But either way, they are awesome glasses. Then, the XREAL One Pros launched back in April for $649 US. And so that's what we have here today. And I guess the question is, what all do you get for an increase of $150 US, and is it worth it? Well, right off the bat, there is an upgrade to the FOV. The original ones are 50 degrees, whereas the new One Pros are 57 degrees. Now, for anybody that heavily uses XR glasses, those 7 degrees are noticeable in the glasses, and they are a welcome upgrade. I'm assuming that most others are probably thinking that it is just 7 degrees. So how much of a difference does that actually make? And well, the answer is, it's just a lot more picture in your glasses, much more space to be used. And so it's an improvement no matter which way you look at it. And so yeah, it is an improvement. Then we get to the displays, and the One Pro actually has a smaller physical display than the Ones. The One Pro has a 0.55-inch micro OLED 120Hz display, whereas the original Ones have a 0.68-inch micro OLED 120Hz display. However, because of the upgrade to the field of view and the options in the glasses to increase the screen, it is actually an upgrade within the glasses. So basically, the outer display is physically smaller, but the actual display in the glasses is larger. So it is a surprising net gain here. Now, with this change, there is an unintended negative, I think. You do have to make sure the glasses are right up against your face, or you will see some reflections at the bottom because the lens doesn't extend down anymore. So you just have to pay attention to how tight these are to your face for the best comfort and the best experience. Now, they did also upgrade the brightness just a bit to 700 nits on the One Pro versus 600 on the Ones. And personally, I can't say that it makes a huge amount of difference, but it is an upgrade nonetheless, and it should help in very bright scenarios. Now, it is worth noting that there are actually 2 Pro models available to you, and it all has to do with your IPD. So there is a medium with 57 to 66 millimeters, and then there's a large with 66 to 75 millimeters. I personally have a PD of 59, so medium is more my fit, and you can still adjust within the software to get the right IPD. So the main difference here is making sure that you grab the right starting pair for whatever your personal PD is. Now, I know you're going to ask because you see me in all my videos wearing glasses, and so what happens with people that are wearing glasses and one of these devices? And my glasses are personally more for reading, so I don't have a really heavy prescription. But for my wife, for example, that I let use these for a little bit, and in those scenarios where she has a very heavy prescription, you can buy prescription inserts from the XREAL website for your prescription, and they just attach right into the internal part of the glasses. And so you do have that option available to you if you are somebody with a very heavy prescription that needs something like that. Lastly, there is a weight difference of 3 grams. The Ones are lighter than the One Pros. They are slightly heavier, but I can't say that I have really felt that difference. It's 3 grams. It's really hard to feel. It's 84 to 87 grams. So, I mean, it is an increase, but not something that I have really felt on my head. All of this to say that if we looked at just the specs, would the One Pros be worth the extra $150? And you really could just boil down all of this to, do you want a more immersive, larger display when using the glasses? Or do you want to save $150 and get 90% of the way there? I'm going to be honest, I don't know if there's a wrong answer here, as there are people in both camps. For me, the XREAL Ones are already my favorite XR glasses, so to improve upon them further is just a nice upgrade and is a nice addition. And I think for anybody that regularly uses XR glasses, as in you've been using them for a long time, you use them throughout the day often, then probably that $150 is worth spending. But I think for anybody new, maybe just looking for their first pair, I don't see a reason why you would need to spend the extra $150 to get the One Pros when the ones already exist and do 90% of the things that this does. So it's a trade-off depending on what your needs are. Now, there are some add-ons that I have this time that I didn't have with the XREAL One when I reviewed those a few months ago. There is the XREAL Eye, a $100 add-on, and it slots right into the center of the glasses, and it has a 12 megapixel RGB camera. That does mean that you can use it to take pictures and all of that right from the glasses, even video. It is a bit scary and a bit spooky in this day and age where you might see somebody walking around with these things and they are just, unbeknownst to you, taking pictures or video without you knowing. But you could probably tell that somebody is wearing XR glasses in the world because they really do kind of stand out. However, the bigger upgrade is now you have access to 6 DOF support, whereas the glasses alone are 3 DOF natively. For those of you that don't know what 3 DOF or 6 DOF is, with the default glasses, it can only track you moving your head. So your head moves, the display will move with you, or you can just anchor the display, but either way, it is only tracking your head and your head movements. With 6 DOF, you can stand up, go around the display if you want, you can see all sorts of angles, and it basically just mimics you pinning a screen somewhere in the world, and then you can just walk around it if you want. Now, use case wise, this is mostly so you can just pin your display to a spot. So maybe you have a TV area, maybe you have a monitor spot, just put it right there. You can get up, go around, do whatever you want to do while still seeing through the glasses. When you come back, you'll have your screen right there. So that's really the use case there. Now, personally, I did have quite a bit of trouble getting this to work, and I realized afterwards it was due to the lighting. This really does need good lighting to take advantage of it, and it didn't work well in the low lighting that was in my office. And because mostly I have my blinds closed and all of that, so I had to go and get into a bigger area with some more light. So as far as the Eye goes, that's really the main use cases here. You can take pictures and videos, or you can do 6 DOF mode, all of it just here, and you can't really tell that it's there. But on my end, I'll be honest, not really features that I personally need from these glasses, but maybe there's somebody out there that does need them, and if you do, it's a $100 add-on. Now the next add-on is the Beam Pro. This is $199 and it is a spatial computer, despite looking like a phone. I mean, it is a phone in reality, though it doesn't have calling. So you would set it up as you would any Android device, and then you would use it for everything that you want instead of your phone or any other device as kind of a permanent companion to the XREAL One Pros, if you want. Now, like me, you might be wondering, what is the point of this thing if you can just do everything on your phone already that this does? So what is so special about it? There are a few things: not completely draining your phone's battery, for one, and tying the glasses to another device. But the major use case here is the spatial enhancements and multi-window support. So with the Beam Pro, you can have a maximum of 2 windows up on screen, which you'd want in anchor mode. So imagine having a movie using Plex or YouTube on one side, and then on the other, you have Discord or a web browser or something else that you want. So you can move your head back and forth and you can see on each screen. You can also use the Beam Pro as a touchscreen controller while the glasses are connected. And so you can open your apps list, select new apps to show up on screen, and so on. There is also cameras on the back for you to take spatial videos if you want. You can capture 3D that way in video form because of how it's set up. But to be honest, not something that I'm totally interested in and probably has limited uses in the world. I think it's the same scenario as the Eye. Cool additions, cool enhancements for a lot of people, but I think most people are just looking to enhance their movies and gaming and so on, and so these don't really add to those experiences. I think this is more for people that are looking to replace the Apple Vision Pros, that type of feature, or they want the newest, latest, and greatest in tech, and maybe they can figure out ways that it works. But for anybody that's just looking for a base XR glasses experience, I don't think they're going to add anything for you. Now for gaming, the XREAL One Pros continue to be the best option for XR glasses in this space, taking over for the ones before them. As long as your device supports video out over USB-C, the glasses should work with whatever device that is. So this can work with a PS5, an Xbox, a Switch 1. Switch 1 needs their hub, but others just need a powered HDMI to USB-C cable. Same idea with the Switch 2, docked, but it doesn't work in handheld mode for the Switch 2. Now, since the glasses are 120 Hz, the best benefit would be using them on a 60 Hz device to get that nice upgrade to 120 Hz from the glasses. But that does come with a catch for Android devices. When using Android devices, if you connect a second screen like the XREAL Ones, or any portable monitor, or any other XR glasses, you are capped to 60 Hz on both devices. So even for a device like my Odin 2 Portal, which is a 120 Hz device, when you connect the glasses, it turns into 60 Hz for both. Even on my Samsung Galaxy Fold 7, I have it right here, couldn't get 120 Hz mode to work, either in Samsung DeX or without. So it is just a limitation of Android and something you should be aware of. Now, a Windows or Linux device or handheld will work with 120 Hz, and that's where you will see that benefit. And so just keep that in mind for buying any XR glasses that advertise above 60 Hz. The 120 Hz benefit really only applies to Windows and Linux. Now, thankfully, I have my small GPD Pocket 4, and it makes for a nice gaming experience to still get the nice high refresh rates, use any controller you want while playing, and enjoy games this way. It is actually even better for the Pocket 4 because it can get pretty toasty while using it at high TDP, so I can kind of just set it off to the side, leave it, and just use the glasses with a controller and not have to worry. But I think for me, though, my use cases for using XR glasses is mostly watching TV shows, all of that sort of thing, where I can just lie down on the couch, use them while my wife uses the TV, and that way we both can enjoy whatever we want to enjoy. And I think that's where XR glasses shine, in my opinion, and for that use case, either glasses work. So let's kind of wrap up my thoughts here on the XREAL One Pros. Are they worth the extra $150? And I think it really depends. There is a definite gain from the FOV and more display on the screen, but I think most people would be fine with the original ones in that scenario. Now, if you are a heavy glasses user, and you are coming from something besides either one of these, I would probably get the One Pro. I think if you are a heavy user, you want the best benefits, and that would be the One Pro. And so I think the entry-level option of the ones is more for people that are just jumping into this space for the first time. And honestly, that same advice goes for the Eye and the Beam Pro. Are they super necessary if all you want to do is watch games and play games? Not at all. But they are going further than that. And if you use your glasses often, maybe for coding on monitors or professional work, then I can see where the Eye and the Beam Pro can come in handy for you. But once again, for general users, they're just going to probably be extra gimmicks that don't really move the needle for you. So, as somebody who was able to get a nice bump to the XREAL One Pros, I think they're awesome, but I was happy with either one of them. After reviewing so many XR glasses over the years, the One Pros definitely are top of my list. They are my favorites right now, and I think that's the best praise that I can give them, but the ones are also awesome too, so there is no losing in this scenario. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about XR glasses. Support me through YouTube membership if you like my stuff, and hope you all have a good one.